So we wanted to start with this kind of a recap of kind of what is really in that business premium SKU. And again, we're going to unpack this further in a couple of additional slides here, but really taking a step to really look at, what it all is entailed. Because in most people look at it, it's, I need my office suite. And maybe I need some conditional access or I need MFA from the Enter ID P1 entitlement that comes along with that. But there's a lot of additional features that are in here, and we're seeing more and more traction with these as we started to work through the natural progression from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Folks working to go through that process, a lot of questions are being asked about how do I continue to manage my desktop fleet and stack going forward with the initiative that Microsoft has around modern work. And one of the key components of modern work really ties into the business premium SKU and a lot of these other SKUs with the capabilities that are entitled there. And so that starts with the Intune entitlement, which you'll see kind of up here. I don't know if you can, I'm not sure if I'm able to highlight or not. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Josh. Specifically right there, that's included, right? So Intune's a key component in being able to manage your desktop fleet, potentially Enter ID join those devices so you're not tied to Active Directory. It's a trend we're starting to see folks move in that direction. So there's some capabilities there in terms of policy, conditional access for your endpoint devices, being able to, app package a lot of customers, again, for Windows 11 migration are using this for autopilot, which is a way where you can provision with your OEM manufacturer net new devices where the users literally put in their Enter ID credentials and it provisions a corporate provision device with your apps and your control policies down to the endpoint device. IT never has to touch it. You don't have to re-image it. You don't have to worry about the driver stack, all the things we've traditionally had to do. So there's a number of capabilities there. We also get into what's entitled with Windows Pro. You get BitLocker, right? Those are key things. The Enter ID join, like I mentioned earlier. Lapse, local admin password security, huge, easily implemented with Intune into an environment, and that it really wrecks ransomware and hackers' days because now there's not a single local admin password across your entire fleet of devices. So a lot of capabilities here that we wanted to kind of unpack further. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the next couple of slides. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Josh to run through those, and I'll add some color commentary as we go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Randy. So yeah, and just before we move along, I wanted to dive in on, what is business premium really, and the security, savings, simplified management, right? We saw that on the first slide. That's really what this is all about. Savings, we sometimes refer to it as the $5 foot long of Microsoft licensing, just in the sense of how much value you get for the price that you pay. And the whole idea with business premium is to bring those enterprise level type of security and mobility features down to the SMB in an affordable way and in a bundled way so that you don't have to sift through all of the different options. If you don't need to. So let's kind of dig a little bit further into what is included with Business Premium. So Defender for Office 365 Plan 1, that provides you a number of the, I would say in these times, a baseline security features, things like detonating attachments in a sandbox, right? Safe attachments, making sure there's no malicious attachments coming through, scanning links. And with Defender for Office 365 Plan 1, that could be links in an email. That could be links that you receive over Teams in an Excel spreadsheet, right? So scanning those for safety and to ensure that, they're not going to do anything malicious there. As well as some other nice features like Bookings Compliance Manager and data loss prevention, right? We see Business Premium on the right-hand side here, checking all of those features. And Randy, did you want to add anything before?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is that, one of the key ones here is really anti-phishing, right? We're seeing a lot more prolific use of, phishing in particular, campaigns across the industry. And so that's one of the key things that you need to have something. If you're not leveraging the built-in products, you need to be definitely positioning something in front of that to help handle the phishing attempts, because that's one of the biggest threat vectors we've seen ramp in the last, I would say, year and a half to 2 years. We're seeing a lot more of those and having to really spend a lot of time kind of dialing those things in from what we see from the industry and from the managed services customers that we're helping to support and manage on a regular basis.
Great point. Yep. So we've got pretty much all of the a lot of the external attack vectors covered there with the phishing, safe links, safe attachments, and then you can also generate reports or get metrics on, hey, are these security incidents or attacks coming more frequently? Are we seeing more certain behavior around spoofing, things like that? So that's kind of a good segue into Entra ID Plan 1. This is all based around identity protection, right? Which is a huge area of security, especially these days when you think about password compromises, when you think about, the ability to get your business back and running with specific users around self-service password protection, setting up group management, right? And then this even gets into some of the kind of behavioral based identity, right? Not just who someone is saying they are, but what are they trying to do? Where are they trying to do that from, possibly? This is really based around securing the identity within Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory. And certainly for folks who may still be on-prem and looking to make the shift, this can be a huge value add when it comes to locking down the identity portion of your environment.